Our connection is when you reached out to me on the transition.
Yeah, that's right.
And then ever since then, so every so often we'll connect, reach out, we'll talk, so it's been that type of relationship.
He called me up when his church was tagged with graffiti.
His church, and my church was tagged. I forgot what it said. Oh, I don't remember what it said.
It was, and then it said blankety blank Mark Jobe.
And then, blankety blank Mark Jobe. I said, hey, Mark, you got some friends over here in the community.
He's calling me up and he says, hey, my church is tagged. I'm like, why is it? I'm like, I'm sorry, well, why are you calling me? He said, I think, and he sent me the photos. He said, I think you'd like to see the photos. And it was, their church is called New Life Covenant. Our church is called New Life Community Church. They thought it was, his church was our church. And so
I don't know what you guys doing over there, but we got it. We're good. We'll handle it over here.
I felt bad. I'm in Torrey Gray Auditorium with my friend, Pastor David Marrero, and he just spoke at chapel to the students, gave a great word, by the way, about joy in affliction. So some of our listeners and watchers, they may be familiar with you, but tell us where you pastor.
I pastor a church, New Life Covenant in Humboldt Park, not to confuse New Life Community. New Life Covenant in Humboldt Park. Grew up in the church. My dad is the founding pastor.
Yeah.
And been grateful to serve there the last 6 years as the lead pastor of the Humboldt Park campus.
And I just have to say, New Life Covenant in Humboldt Park, they have a reputation of getting into the community, helping people out, not being afraid of brokenness, and I love that about New Life Covenant, and I hear that in your heart. Today you spoke to the students about having joy in affliction. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that touched me, you shared some personal stories, both of pain in your life, but also of the death of your brother. Mm-hmm. There's probably people listening right now that are in the middle of a lot of pain and difficulty thinking, yeah, I can be joyful, but not in the middle of pain. Mm-hmm. Talk to them a little bit about that.
Yeah, I speak from firsthand experience. There's one thing you can, theologically speak about something and it sounds great, but until you actually go through it, your own life, and experience it, then you can speak about it from a very personal place. And I've experienced pain and suffering from sexual abuse to my brother being murdered in the streets of Chicago through gun violence. And in that, I've been able to see literally the comfort of God. A lot of people don't think that they can still feel the sadness of the suffering or the pain, but there is a comfort that is called joy, because joy is internal. Joy is divine. Joy comes from God. And no matter what's happening on the outside of you, there can be joy. And we just got to lean into God and continue to seek His wisdom. The Bible teaches us that joy, it comes from the Lord, and it is our strength. And every day, it is through His grace that gets us through it. And healing, right? Yeah. Healing, the process of healing will take place if you just let God in. And that's the experience I've firsthand been able to encounter with the Lord.
I love the fact that Pastor shared about the death of his brother, but also I love the fact that you openly shared, because I think in generations past people wouldn't share, but I think that you openly shared about sexual abuse in your life. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people out there that have experienced difficulty and pain and trauma, and they feel like it's a hindrance for God to use them. Like, because I've experienced this, that disqualifies me or hinders me or holds me back. But you had a different story. Mm-hmm. Your story was, what you said today was, God will use your pain.
That's right.
God has a purpose in your pain.
Yeah.
Say a word about that.
Yeah, I've made it up in my mind that I'm going to use my pain for purpose. Paul, who went through so much turmoil, was in chains, in prison. And he was in prison not because he did anything wrong. He was in prison because they were trying to silence him. Yeah. And in prison, he's writing a letter to the church of Philippians, and in that church, he's telling them about joy. He is speaking about joy. Not only is he writing a letter to the church, but he's also being a voice and an encouragement to those that are around him in other cells. And the Bible says that the gospel was known, and that he was not known for being in prison because he had chains of shackles, but he was known because he wasn't in prison, right? And he was in chains for Christ.
Yeah.
And that is a testament that even in suffering and trials and tribulations, though you may be physically feeling like you are tied down in chains, there is a testimony that can come from that. I've committed to turn my suffering into purpose, and I share it openly because I recognize that can unlock some physical change, mental change, spiritual and emotional change in people's lives, to connect in a way where a lot of people are afraid to come out and speak about.
And here's, I want to encourage you with this. So if you are a pastor, or if you're someone looking to do ministry, and you look at the scars in your life and you say, I don't know how God's going to use me. I believe that God has placed you, brother, in the right setting, because I know that New Life Covenant always talks about, hey, we're a church for the hurting. That's right. And I believe that God takes whatever your experiences are and has given you a special passion and compassion and burden for people that are broken and hurting. So there you got it. David Marrero, New Life Covenant, great church, great ministry. I hope this has been a blessing to you.